Good morning, y'all. Satnam, Namaste. Raj Prem here, talking to you today about the pearls and the perils of romantic relationship. This one is hitting me particularly hard this week, and so I felt to share, as always, my experience because that's what's relevant for me. And I wanted to share with you about some of the dynamics that I've come to be aware of in a romantic relationship, and also how those dynamics have helped me to heal some of my wounding from my past. And essentially, they say that, and I would have to agree that relationships can be our best teacher, because we are really challenged when we're in a romantic relationship. I think anyone in a romantic relationship can agree that we're really put to the test in a relationship where, when you're single, it's relatively easy to just kind of, coast along through life. At least that was my experience. I was only single for this much time, in my life, just like 1 year, and and it was like a great reference point for me, because I was able to experience this kind of bliss and this joy in that 1 year, which I'd never felt before. And a lot of that had to do with my giving away my power in relationship. And so what I learned in my current relationship and in past relationships was that I had a fear of losing my identity. And I think that it's a really scary thing to lose who you are, and lose your or feel like you might lose your core values, your core beliefs, those things that define who you are, those things that you love about yourself, the things that make you unique. And so what I would do, and still do a little bit of, is get defensive whenever I feel like someone is trying to take away my power, take away that control. And I can feel it in my physical body, and it manifests for me as like a tightness in my belly, or as like a pain right up here in between my shoulder blades. I call those the control cables. And it literally feels like a cable in there when it gets so tight. And another thing that comes out of these relationship dynamics is learning about the different aspects of masculine and feminine energy. And of course, we both have both masculine and feminine energy in different proportions. If you're a man, ideally you will have more than 50% masculine energy, so that you are that is your dominant energy. And females, you'll have 50% or more female feminine energy. And if those energies are not balanced, that creates a lot of tension and unhappiness in the relationship, because men, we need to be men, and women, you need to be women. And what's tied in with that is understanding and having acceptance and compassion for what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman in today's world, which is a very demanding world that we live in. And for me, I felt that I would get this tightness in my belly when my wife would approach me. It could be for anything. She might just be coming to give me a hug, and I would feel a tension in my belly because I didn't know I had this what do I want to say? It's like a coping mechanism that I developed in my childhood on how to deal with uncertainty. And that uncertainty would lead to me feeling out of control. And, when we tend to not like to feel out of control. It's not like the kind of out of control like when you're young and you're intoxicated or something and you're just doing stupid stuff. Not that kind of out of control, but like a feeling of instability and not being grounded. So I would get like this fear in my belly, and it's finally dissolving after years because I gained the awareness of what was going on. And essentially, we develop coping mechanisms typically as children. Not here to blame families, not here to blame parents. Every parent does the best they can with the tools they have. I want to just be very clear about that. My parents did an amazing job given the tools that they had. Historically, in generations past, family dynamics have been very challenging for children to grow up in. The quote-unquote ideal scenario is to feel a sense of security like all the time when you're a kid, to have your emotions and your thoughts and your words, everything be kind of embraced and really allowed to blossom, feeling always safe and secure. Those are really important for a child to feel, because if we don't feel that and we feel, like this out of control or, this fear that there's going to be these big fluctuations, we don't know if one day our parent is going to be like screaming at us or hitting us, or, that they're going to be, embracing us, or, like if there's those fluctuations, then we develop a coping mechanism for that. And it tends to show up as like an anxiety about what's coming next. And so we take that into our adult relationships, and that is just a recipe for disaster. So I'm going to talk more about some of these attachment styles and coping mechanisms in some of my later videos. So stay tuned, come check it out. The one thing I want to get across to you is to really figure out what it means to be a man and what it means to be a woman, and also to give your partner some space, because they're doing the best that they possibly can right now. And if you can come to them from a place of understanding and compassion and have these daily or weekly check-ins with one another, that's going to be so helpful for you going forward, so that you know where the other one is at, and you can be, again, from that place of compassion and showing them a sense of gratitude is really important. Because, the world, the way it is, we're working so hard in our jobs and with our families and, on our houses and, maintaining our stuff and trying to carve out a little bit of time for, this fun, adventurous life, which we'd all love to be leading all the time. So my invitation to you is to really find that sense of joy, that those things that really excite you, and bring those into your life, because otherwise, man, you're going to be miserable, because all you're going to really be doing is working all the time, and that shit is not fun at all. So you need to find your joy independent of your partner, of your family. Find your joy in this life. Find what excites you, and bring that to your relationship. Bring that sense of joy and enthusiasm, and your partner will be inspired, and your relationship will be much better as a result. So namaste, Sat Nam.